Hi, in this next project, we are going to make an infographic about ourselves. So we're going to actually combine a couple of things that we've already made into sort of a one-page document that highlights everything that is awesome about you. So as you can see, here's mine. It's not completely finished, but it has all of the main parts to it already there. So what we're going to do is for our infographic, we are going to make 5 sections. So as you can see on mine, the 5 sections, and again, all of the information will be in Classroom, but this top section is kind of just about me in general. So my name, here's a quote that I like, and then those icons that you made. So that tells them stuff about me already, right? Visually, without actually having any words. And then as far as the image of myself, that's a character that I made. If you don't have a character, you can just use a photo that you like and go ahead and put that on there. As long as it makes sure it fits into your design and fits into that space well. So you might have to do some cropping or whatever the case may be. So that's that first section. The second section is your stats, so the important facts about yourself. So did you win a varsity letter in any sports or activities? Were you a part of any sort of clubs or anything like that? So include all of your activities or interests and kind of highlight any awards that you've won or anything like that. This next section is your resume. So in there goes any work or internship experience or anything like that. The next one is a portfolio. So I included a few of my photos. Actually, I just copied that one over. I didn't realize that. I have to replace one of these, but include some of your best photos. And then that last section is your plans and goals. So if you're expecting to graduate from high school in about a month, you can put expected high school graduation date and put May 2018. Or if you if you already have college plans, you can go ahead and include those in there as well. And also down in this section, I just added a couple more of the kind of some examples of my work. So I wanted to fill up that space a little bit more. If you have more plans or goals and you want to fill up that entire space with your plans and goals, that's great. But with that being said too, yours doesn't need to look exactly like mine. So I made mine in this format just because I went through a lot of trial and error. I actually tried making mine with a little bit less regimented shapes, I would say, but I had problems getting the text to fit into those shapes. So I did, and eventually just I kind of gave in and I went with rectangles, which is not the end of the world, I guess. It still works. And here's another one that I just briefly started. All you need to do for those background shapes is draw out a rectangle. So if I draw out a rectangle here, that's that size. I can lock it now so that I can't edit it. So I would not be able to move it or erase part of it or anything like that with it locked like that. I could put images over that rectangle, or I could type text on there, move it around, and it wouldn't accidentally grab that background color. So that is all you need to do to get started. Like I mentioned, for the image of yourself, and I would like to have an image on there, make sure you either draw yourself as a character, or you can use a photograph that you have taken that you like, or even go take a new one if you want to and include that. Let's see, what else do you need to know? Resume, that information should go from the most recent down to the oldest. So if this was my most recent, which it is because I have present on here, so I have the dates from May 1924 to present, because I'm that old. Just kidding, I'm not. I mean, I'm getting there, but not quite. So that's on there. And then if I were to have any other work experience, I would put that. I would put that below that present experience. Let's see, what else? One thing that you really need to keep in mind is contrast. So I tried to make my colors of the sections, like the section headers, kind of coordinate with the background. I didn't want those to stand out too much. I wanted them to stand out a little bit, but not too much. So that's why I did that color combination. But like down here, I don't see enough contrast between that black text and my dark, kind of medium to dark blue background. So I would probably change that actually to white. Even white text on that blue might show up a little bit better. So I think it does. It's kind of hard to tell on the screen, but I think that does work a little bit better. So I will change the color of all of those little elements down there. But make sure everything is legible. So make sure you can see all of your images okay and all of the text. One other thing that you'll need to know for this is to resize your icons. Let's go back to so here are my icons right here. in order to resize them, I'm just going to copy this one real quick so I can show you what I'm doing. If I were to resize this right now, you can see what will happen. So anywhere I had a stroke, the stroke still stays the same regardless of what size I put it at. So right now the stroke it didn't get bigger, but it looks bigger just because of the rest of the image being smaller. So to get away from that, what you can do is click on that outside. Actually, you probably need to select everything because I have more strokes in this image. So I'll select everything and then I will go to Object and Expand. And I want to expand the fill and the stroke. And I'll hit OK. And now you can see when I resize it, everything stays in proportion. So instead of this first one where the marshmallows are goofy because of the weird stroke on them, and then my bigger circle got way too big relative to everything else just because of that stroke again. But again, if you do that expand, if you select it and then hit expand, then that will solve your problem. I wanted to make sure you knew about that. Okay, I think that is it. If you have any questions at all as you're working on this, definitely let me know. Make sure, sorry, one more thing. Make sure you're working from a color palette. So I have my color palette here. I decided what colors I wanted before I even started. These are not the only colors that I used in here, just because I have my little icons and those have some more colors in them, and then my logos and stuff down here have more colors. But use a nice base of colors to keep it pretty consistent. So I started with 6. You can start with right around there would probably be a good number, but you want to keep the entire document fairly consistent in color scheme. I mean, we do have a lot of contrast here, but it also, there you can see the repetition in the colors. So I've got yellow, 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 kind of leads your eye around. I would probably actually, I need to make a couple changes yet because this is not perfect, but these can come out because we talked about that. So that's essentially what it will look like. I'm going to fill in a little bit more, but other than that, that is about it. All right, good luck. Let me know if you have questions.